we are about to go to our social media trends. And one of the trends is the EFF no Xolani. The EFF is cleaning crime and lawlessness in the streets of Johannesburg. So it has also been said that Dr. Nini of the EFF has been visiting the so-called inner no-go areas in the city. And he's been going there to control what's happening over the substance abuse and the crime. But yet DA is still claiming that if the EFF goes into power, nothing is actually gonna go right. Maruto as the EFF leader on the safety department in the Johannesburg Metro, I am definitely going in to fight for what we are as South African and actually crack down on crime. I mean, why is it so hard for the Johannesburg police to actually go into the inner city when they are the people who are supposed to protect the country?
I mean, Afri, when you're looking at what Xolani's foundation has been doing, and especially the show that he had, man, on Moja Love, and sweeping the streets because, drugs have infiltrated the city in a very, very bad manner. So, if they can work together to combat this battle of drugs, I've seen the affiliation that the government has tried to make. A lot of time when the government tries to affiliate with these, crime organization, crime against a drug organization. So a lot of things that are happening is we see that it is not working out mostly, and it not working out, it leads to people like Xolani going to jail for reasons that they didn't even think they would go in for. But now working with parties, man, because we know that we are under the new 7th administration, the government of national unity, and their plans to fight and combat crime and drugs on the streets, it's still on the way. But why should we not support people like Xolani's foundation while they have been on the street for a long time and they know what they're doing? And I would like Minister Senzo Mkhunu to work towards collaborating with people like Xolani and protect them from these people, because we're talking about like huge drug pins, man, who are just controlling the streets of CBD. CBD is just becoming the most darkest city that we have ever seen in our history of South Africa. And it is sad. It is sad. I don't want to lie. But I would like these kind of organizations and these kind of foundation to always play a very huge role, because when you guys post those things on social media, they play a huge role. People see and people support. So I definitely think these things should be, going on, man.
What do you think, TC?
It's good. I mean, Xolani was doing amazing work with the show EX Repo on Moja Love. So if he's taking that out onto the streets and dealing with the current drug problem, then that's amazing, because we all know whoever lives in the township, we've seen the scourge of Nyaupe and what Nyaupe has been doing to our youth, stinting and affecting so many young lives. So I think it's a great initiative, and I really, really wish that they can, have great success with it, because it's an issue that affects us, affects our youth, and it needs to be dealt with. So it's amazing. I'm all for it. Let's go, EFF.
Man, yes, let's be honest, man. Uchuchu dala ashiwuti mina. I am going to stand for South Africa and protect it with everything that it has. And it also goes to show that sometimes it's not like the police can't actually access these areas. So it took a politician for the JMPD to actually come and join in and arrest 200 people.
Yep.
So what does it say about our country as a whole? What does it also say about the leaders or the drug operations that we have inside the SAPs? It clearly shows that it's not that they can't go there. They actually can.
Yeah.
If Xolani, a civilian, is willing to risk his life and go there, what is the point of having law enforcement sometimes? I mean, like, if me as a civilian, I can also go there. What's the whole point? Imagine, because of this whole crackdown, they even discovered a residential building in Hillbrow that was being used to produce crystal meth and other illicit drugs.
Yeah.
So many things are happening. It is time that we stand up as South Africans, man. Can the police also stand up, crack down on crime? Yes, we appreciate all the crimes that you've been doing right now and cracking down on the others. But our biggest and major crime right now that is also leading to so many other crimes is drugs.
Yeah, true. Because, I think Gauteng should learn from the Western Cape, because in the Western Cape, they have this unit that they call the AGU, the anti-drug unit, right? The ADU, I mean. So the anti-drug unit mostly infiltrates like your drug organizations, your huge drug kingpins, and they do it strategically. And now the strategies that they use, it's one that when the public sees, when it's exposed to the public eye, the public will see it different. And now that is where also the police get in and say, the ways and the strategies that you guys are using are not into law. And when you look into how they deal with the drug combat in the streets, when you're going to use the law that we have right here in Mzansi and the policies, they do not speak into combating, the way it needs to be combated. So looking at EFF trying to get in and, fixing Joburg as a whole, because one of the things when it comes to the EFF memorandum, they always look into identifying illegal immigrants who do not have documents and who do not qualify to be here in South Africa. So those kind of initiative working with EFF, it's something that is going to work for South Africa. It is going to work whether we like it or not. So we need to work towards Xolani's foundation, because Xolani's foundation has brought a lot of justice to a lot of homes, fighting these drug problems that we have in our communities. So I think things like this, we need to support them, because I saw on X, this other guy commented that what Xolani is doing is going to get him in trouble again. Okay. But now I'm asking myself, what trouble? Because this guy is trying to fight the drugs out of the streets.
Yeah.
Something our police is clearly not doing. And this is somebody that the police should actually have in their corner.
True.
The police are already saying that this person, why he made sure that they cracked down on crime, they cracked down on drugs, where people were police actually afraid of going to. So why not take the resources and actually put a team behind him?
Yeah.
I carry back then no team yama beret.
True.
So bapala can go for a team etlo supportan Xolani ge ba le Xolani's beret or whatever, because they can definitely do that. And when I go into X right now, I see like people saying that we bought these foreigners to South Africa.
Yeah.
And then there's another comment that says these guys are used by Nigerians because they are fighting turf wars and pretending to be cleaning the streets. So it also goes to show that sometimes, not all good deeds need to be seen or advertised to the world. So that's I understand why this person is saying no. These people are actually being used to fight turf wars and just pretending to clean up the streets, because we have had that done so many times. You have the government saying, okay, we went to a certain place, we cracked down on it, and we have cleaned it. The streets are nice and clean, but yet they still managed to come back. So, by cleaning the surface and then they left the underlie.
Guys, it's bad, because when you look into the lines and look the relationship that the deportation system of South Africa and the Department of Home Affairs that they have, it's bad, because when you look inside, it's rigged to a point that illegal immigrants, they work with people at Home Affairs to get those documents, to become South African citizens. There are ways that we do not see. We know that shows in Moja Love are trying to expose this thing, but now they're exposing it in a wrong angle.
Yeah.
Because when you look at what Xolani was doing, so what Xolani did is to show people that he uses violence, to get answers from these drug perpetrators. Right, so obviously in the public eye, it's not right to show such kind of things.
Okay.
So if we are going to show kids that this is how you approach a criminal or someone who's selling drugs by using violence towards them, it means the country is promoting violence. Yeah. But now what Xolani was showing is, guys, we have a bigger problem than violence in our country, which is drugs infiltrating our communities. So we must work together, whether we like it or not.
Amen. Yeah. I just love the fact that they are starting with Hillbrow. We all know what a problematic area Hillbrow is when it comes to the drug, the war on drugs, because there that's where the majority of drug activity happens, right? So Izolo, the the EFF's MMC for public safety was in Johannesburg. Umgcini Twaku was leading a bold and revolutionary operation called Noma Kanjani Manje Namhlanje. Yeah, so and it was in Hillbrow. So I'm like, yes, I'm definitely all for it, because that is where the problem starts.
Yeah. True, because if we infiltrate the CBD, guys, trust me, what we have on the township, it's going to end, because everything starts right there in the, in the BEPS, in the CBD. So the Nomaganjani, when it's coming and doing its job according to what the organization's goals are, we're really going to see slight improvement towards fighting drugs in our communities.
Yeah, that's very true. And then some people tend to forget that, as much as you may paint that, yes, Hillbrow is a very, very much hot spot for crime, like Hillbrow, Berea, Yuval.
And the hijacked buildings as well.
Yeah,
I mean, that's where all this criminal activity happens. That's where all these people are able to do these illicit trades. So, of course, we have to deal with the root causes in order to eliminate these problems that we have.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and the root cause is starting by by starting to get our buildings back. Actually, if we start with owning the buildings back again, then we can literally solve that and actually crack down on crime, man.
Yeah.
Because some South Africans are saying that I can guarantee 100% that they'll be out the same night, and you find that some of them didn't even spend a night in the holding cells. And then you have somebody who also says that the EFF a police force or an organization. People of EFF are matonkop.
Wow. Oh, wow. But I mean,
I challenge the person who says bas EFF amatomkop when I hamba and crack down on crime.
On crime. Yeah, I mean, the EFF stance is clear, right? Yeah. Everyone is welcome in South Africa, but only with proper documentation to uphold the law, the rule of law, and ensure public safety. So they are keeping us safe and actually putting action to words and being on the ground in the streets and doing the work. So we are really proud of the EFF's MMC for public safety and Xolani. So let them unite, and I think so much can be learned from this initiative and can be taken away from this on how to combat the issues that we face right now in our society in order to deal with them and properly address the root causes to find permanent and workable solutions.
Yeah, may the agreement go very well, by the way, because we know that every time when the city is involved in these kind of things, so much conflict can be brewed, because now Xolani will come with his, demands to say, okay, city, if we're going to work on this project, COJ, if we're going to work on this project, these are the following things that need to happen, because there are costs that needs to be covered, because now we are going to combat one of the greatest cities right here in South Africa, which is Joburg, and in Gauteng. We know that Gauteng is an economic hub, and we deserve to have that image that speaks to a lot of nations and, whole nations out there and into combating the crime. So let there be harmony, let there be, cohesive work towards these organizations into combating crime. And so I hope this trends into the right hands and see that what they're trying to do is to actually make South Africa and Gauteng a better place. And I wish for all of the provinces, man, what Cape Town is doing with the anti-drug unit, there's progress there. there is progress. Yes, a lot of people are losing their lives, but there is progress. So I just wish that this agreement comes forward and works for the betterment of the citizens of South Africa.
Yeah, I also hope that it does, because right now we're also starting to see the power of coalition. Because I have another comment here from KK saying that it's not only EFF. Twaku 2 years ago was having a meeting with Ethiopians who had their shops closed. He opened them. He was working with MMC David Tembe of Action SA. He has no choice. We applaud the efforts of coalitions. The only problem was DA. I am not shocked. No, I am not shocked, because right now you're starting to see that African people and black-owned African parties are starting to come together to fight down on so many things, and then you have that other parties that are literally saying that what you guys are doing is nothing.
The thing is, what I have seen in the GNU is that it will come back to who is doing, a good job than the other person. Because if I am fighting and combating crime and drugs in the community, and while you are dealing with the economic status of the country, you're going to look at yourself as that big person in the room and to say, you know what we are trying to do is to, deal with unemployment. But not noticing that the chain of unemployment comes through these drug kingpins by destroying the young people into not getting into the job markets. So a lot of people, yes, are hopeful, and I am hopeful for the GNU, by the way. But now, working towards, the same goal is going to create challenges, because now we need to combat these things like your drug violence right there in the city and in communities. So I think it will play a very, very huge role for them, the administration, to work towards this thing together. Together we move, together as a unit.
Hey, it's a lot.
Together we can.
Exactly.
About it, together we can, but some people are just having different opinions. So I'm just going to read like the 3 lost comments that people have here. And then the person says, another reason why we say EFF is a flip-floppers. This is the creative way of entering the country unlawfully, consequences and results most. And then another comment says, the same Twaku was defending the Zamazamas not long ago. Don't bull us. It's his job. He should have started this long ago. Thanks to Xolani, who showed them that Hillbrow is not a no-go area when he was still doing Sizoktola. And then the last comment is that cleaning up your brothers who find creative ways to enter Mzansi. Such clowns.
And you know what's crazy is I've actually lived in Hillbrow. If
Hey,
you
Wayne.
call, yes,
You're
I've
very
lived.
brave.
No, close to the police station. It's almost like
Is it
there's literally one street separating Parktown and Hillbrow, right? So it's there close to the police station, and it's the truth. You find that there's cops everywhere, but there's still like guys openly selling drugs
in the street.
And when it comes to combating the crime, you'll find in my opinion, I've seen this with my own eyes. It's just corruption where there's cops who work with these criminals there in Hillbrow. They just go there and collect money.
Yeah.
For just, I'm not gonna give you trouble if you just keep giving me money. I know you sell and trade drugs, but because I'm just gonna I'm a corrupt cop, and I'm not going to shake up the ecosystem of the people benefiting from what you're doing. I'm just gonna also eat.
It's bad because it goes
But
to a
now
point.
at least there's people who are like, we don't care who's eating from these people. We are going to target them nonetheless, and we're going to shake up the ground, and we are going to get it. They need to get to the higher beings, because you know what?
Kingpins.
Yeah, the kingpins. Because yes, the ones on the street corners, and those Nigerians who have these front shops acting like they fixing phones or whatnot. But then they're actually in the background selling drugs. We know these places, even there close to Brie, there's this there's these shops that fix phones at the taxi rank. You know, it's amazing what you can find when you just explore and go deeper into the CBD and address these hijacked buildings and all these issues that are in the CBD. Once, and I like that they addressing not just the drug problem, but the fact that there's hijacked buildings, and that because that's where all of this activity takes place, and that's where all these illicit human traffickings also happen, where you find people who are looking for jobs suddenly go to a certain building and disappear forever. So I love that. I love that it's not only, they are not just addressing, you know, the superficial issues where it's like, we're going to do a PR run, where a PR campaign where we're like, okay, we are dealing with the drug problem, but we're actually going deeper and dealing with the hijacked buildings. We are dealing with the human trafficking hotspots. All of that, because all of that plays a part in the drug issue in South Africa.
Very bad, man.
Hey, it's very bad, hey guys. But though, remember that this has two ways. Is it a TEFO, or is it actually a cleanup that is truly happening for South Africans by South Africans?